What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes, coming at you straight from Pipe Doctor Home Services headquarters here in Woodman, New York. The sun's coming up, the coffee's hot, and we've got another ACiQ Extreme Plus installation on the schedule today. Today's video is part two of a two-part transformation, where in part one, we already eliminated the fossil fuel heating system and stripped everything down to give ourselves a clean slate. If you haven't watched that video yet, stop this video and go watch that first, because today's install is going to make a whole lot more sense. Now, the goal today, folks, is to be done before lunch. That's right, folks, before lunch. And one of the biggest reasons this job is going to move so efficiently is proper planning. You see, last week when we did part one, we removed the furnace and air conditioning coil and outdoor condensing unit from this home, giving us a nice clean slate to work on. It's kind of like having a blank canvas. And you know, every installation is like a piece of art. And our philosophy is to do one better than the last. And we're going to accomplish that today. And throughout today's video, I'm going to show you those little tips and tricks that make our installs faster, cleaner, and more professional. These are techniques that we've developed over installing hundreds of inverter heat pump systems, and they'll help you work smarter, not harder. We're also going to be taking a closer look at the Extreme Plus communicating inverter system and why it's become one of my favorite systems to install, the features homeowners love, and why more contractors are making the switch. I also got a 14mm deep socket. We're going to explain to you why you need to have one of these in your tool bag, and a brand new Appion 5/16 Schrader core removal tool to take out those Schrader cores when we properly commission the system. If you notice, last week I threw out my field piece and treated it like a hockey puck, kicking it down the street. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's install. If you watched part one already, this area looks a whole lot different from when we started last week. The old equipment is gone, the gas meter has been abandoned, and we now got a blank canvas. Let's take a look at the space we're working with. We're going to be putting that 3-ton ACiQ HPD model. That's the side-discharge heat pump, Extreme Plus, right between this gas and the chimney, right here on the wall. We're going to install a Mikey pipe surge protecting device at the same elevation as the other one, getting rid of that ugly and just antiquated disconnect panel right there. And ideally, we're going to have these both line up side by side, with just the chimney being the machitza, or the divider between the one on the right and the future location, the one on the left. These side discharge systems, these inverters, they really shine. Look at this. Believe it or not, it's going to look perfect. We got a great amount of clearance behind of it. You do need a minimum 4 inches, and as you can see, we got at least that, about 6 inches here. If this was a traditional top discharge condenser, we'd be fighting for clearances here, airflow, service access. But because the ACiQ cabinet is tall instead of wide, it can tuck neatly against the home, maintaining proper clearances and still leave plenty of room to work behind it. Amazing. Don't let the size fool you. This compact cabinet is a fully communicating inverter-driven 3-ton heat pump capable of delivering outstanding efficiency while operating incredibly quiet. Small footprint, big performance. Now, let's get that new one out of the truck, mounted, leveled, piped, wired, and I'll show you a few tricks along the way that we've learned after installing hundreds of these systems. You ready? Let's go. All right. Oh, man. Oh, I never cleaned it out from last week. I'm such an idiot. All right. We got our hammer drill. Let's get drill bits that we need. There it is. We're gonna get this. So we're gonna drill a new hole for the line set. And I'm gonna take the vacuum pump now, as well as the rotary hammer, vacuum pump, and our table. Nice clean work environment. All right, let's get the show on the road, folks. At least I got the battery. Okay. Now, one of the things that was instilled upon me when I first started in the trades is a happy work site is a clean work site. And what I do right away is, as I create garbage, I clean it up. So this cardboard box that housed the outdoor unit, it gets flattened, it gets put off to the side. Keeping everything neat and organized is a good way to show that you're a professional. Now, the ACiQ Extreme Plus heat pump systems come with these pre-flared stub outs. Looks like this. Here's one for the 3/4. Here's one for the 3/8. Now, Kevin Brock, the owner of ACiQ, swears by these. I personally have never used them. I've used the nuts multiple times, but I've personally never used them. You get a little bit of a flexible piece right there, but I believe in using my bender and making nice transitions, flare transitions to the access service ports.
That should work. But
Wow, impressive. Change of plans. Meter staying. It's not abandoned yet. They have a gas dryer and a gas stove, so that meter is going to stay. We're going to shorten this up a little bit. That 3/4 inch nipple, we're going to make that shorter, and that means we're going to shorten this 1 inch. But right now I'm focusing on the electric. I turned off the breaker, but I did not check to make sure there's no power there. And nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Okay, electric is dead. We're going to modify this a little bit, raise it up, and put that new disconnect box on the wall. All right, shortening this nipple. Put a shorter 1 inch gal nipple in here. Give us some more clearance. Beautiful. All right, wall mount bracket is on. The 14mm socket. Well, here's one purpose for them. And the other purpose. Beautiful. Beautiful. There's that 14mm socket, deep socket I was telling you about. Keep one in your tool bag. All right. The wall mount bracket is on the wall. By the way, this supports up to 300 pounds and you can hang from it if you wanted to. I'm not going to, but it's good. I have my new Mikey pipe surge protection device mounted to the wall. A couple screws, top and bottom. I have a little disconnect plate here. I'm going to get some of those electrician's putty, put it in there to seal that penetration going through the wall. It's tight, folks. It really is tight. The gentlemen are inside working on that air handler vertical install. And I got to somehow get from there through that hole and then to here and clear the gas meter and the chimney. Wish me luck. All right, let's see where that hole is. It's a pretty good spot right there. Oh, so I can go out of the way and all right, I guess I'll drill that out. Nice base, nice filter media cabinet, nice transition on the return. Very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. I drilled a pilot hole through the foundation. That's going to be the penetration for a new line set. 2 bars. Definitely gonna go through a couple batteries today. I'm almost there. Look at that. Almost there. It's a nice hole. It's a deep hole. Man, that thing's on fire. Damn. All right. 9:23. Not too shabby. What did that take? 20 minutes?
Inside to outside or outside to inside?
I'm probably gonna guess inside to outside, but I still gotta position that thing on the feet and get it looking the way it should. But yeah, I did have the gas off, by the way, so you can have to light the piles on the water heater. She just barely fits, but she fits. I really painted myself into a corner, and one of the benefits of watching this channel is that I keep it uncut, unedited, and raw. And right now, let's just pray that this wall mount bracket is actually secure, but we got a good amount of separation between the wall and the back of the unit. There's the drain for the when it's running in heat pump mode, coil, and yeah, looking pretty good. So I got my hole drilled there, and by the way, I'm laying down on cardboard underneath the unit, in case you haven't figured that out. See? All right. 1/2-inch knockouts for my line voltage and communication wire. Knock them out. There's no other easy way of doing it. You gotta get on the ground and hammer them on dirt or grass, otherwise you'll spend forever, or drill them out, but no one really does that. I'm gonna be the first to admit I may have outdid myself here. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is. I had no other alternative. There's no room there, no room here, no room over there. You guys will crucify me, but it's going to be a high performing system anyway. All right, just turn the breaker on. That's good. Make sure we got power where it needs to be. I just heard that click on. That is illuminated. Perfect, 245 volts. Perfect. And as you can see, I got my L1, L2 and ground in position. That's going to be interesting how I do that. It's not going to be easy. But it sucks, but it is what it is. I think what I'm going to have to do is unbolt it from the wall mount bracket, set up my table, drop that down, and put the unit on top of the table, tighten and torque my 3/4 and 3/8 line, and then slip it through the hole. I just don't see any other way of doing this unless we, yeah, I see no other way of doing this. I really, I'm not too happy about this right now. It's my own fault. Maybe I should have did 2 floor mount brackets, but I thought I had enough room, and I do, but not really. We don't really have any clearance on the right side. This is coming out. I thought it was coming out already, but you know, I could. Listen, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. Even if I put a street 90 in there into the union off of the house side of the meter bar, what's that going to give me? Another 1.5 to 2 inches? It's not in the way. It's fine. And I'm away from my regulator. 18 inches off the regulator. We're good. It's just sucks. It's my own fault. Wow. That is impressive. That is very impressive. Now, my line set. I'm gonna have to get creative with that line set. You know, one thing I didn't realize, tightening up the and torquing the unions or the connections onto the thing. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, I just fed the line set through the hole. Hey, Derek, give me about another 2 feet of that. Unroll it so I can have 2 more feet of it. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, let's see how I'm going to do this. All right. I got a plan, folks. We're going to use this table, and I'm going to lower the legs on it, and I'm going to use that to move the unit onto it, and hopefully we'll be able to connect those line sets. If not, oh well. Yeah, who's man? See, I'm not stupid. I may have been stupid for painting myself into a corner, but I got out of the corner. That's right, baby. I'm out of the corner. Now let's just pray nothing moves. I'm gonna get my flaring tool and a cutter, and let's prepare the 3/4 and 3/8 and connect those. All right, folks, let's get the show on the road. First, we're gonna cut back the armor flex so it's nice and pretty. Beautiful. Did I grab? No, it's 3/4. Put it 7/8 for a second. Imagine. Got the wrong line set. That would suck. Come on, baby. Now for all of you deburring fans, hope you're enjoying this right now. I typically deburr the pipe. Hold on, don't do anything with that yet. Okay. Right there. See? Hands-free operation. Perfect flare. All right, let's put some pressure on here. Okay, now I'm gonna be around. All right, you're good there. Okay, let's double check that. Yeah, good. Now let's do the 3/8. Oh, you want me to deburr the pipe? Here you go. Happy? It is what it is, folks. Wow. We did it. We did it, folks. I knew we were going to be able to do it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, I'm back laying on the top again. Let's see. Okay. This is going there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Amazing. All right, now let's just get the socket ready. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Beautiful. And beautiful. Okay. Excellent. All right, I have 2-wire 18 gauge shielded communication wire in place. Let's connect it to the outdoor unit. All right, there's my little wire. Let's strip that and connect it to S1, S2. Now, you guys don't have to use shielded communication wire. It is recommended. And if you're gonna be running a new line, you might as well put in what it's supposed to have. The traditional 2-wire or thermostat wire that you had there before would work, but like I said, if you're running a new wire, just get the shielded communication wire. So much better. ACiQ sells rolls of it, or by the foot, so the roll's 1,000 feet. It's worth the investment. And we're gonna do black is gonna be S2, red is going to be S1. It does say polarity does not matter, but it does matter. It's, I don't know why, but it does matter. So these 2 wires are going to go in there, right there, that I can't even see because I painted myself into a corner, and I'm an idiot. All right. right screwdriver. This is too short. All right, so I just sent Penny a picture of what I'm doing, and she goes, "Is that ever going to pose a problem when you have to service it?" And I said, "Maybe." Trust me, I'm not happy about this, but it'll be me cursing myself when the time comes, because eventually it will, where we need to do some maintenance and service on this thing. Well, not necessarily maintenance, but like a repair. So I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to pray that this system lasts for many, 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 many years. Okay, there's that. Okay, see, S1, S2, beautiful. All right, I just ran a 100-foot extension cord from an outlet all the way on the opposite side of the house in the bedroom. The two outlets that are in the front and the back of the house, no power. So let me pull my straighter cores from the suction and discharge lines. And these are brand new straighter core removal tools. I got these from supplyhouse.com. Ordered them on Thursday, got them on Friday, and they're brand new. Took them out of the packaging this morning. The field pieces that I had for about a year, well, let's just say that they fell apart, literally. One, and let's get the other in place. I'm going to put some nitrogen in here. First, we're going to make sure that they are done with the line set inside. Let's close this, close that. We want to not have the line set open to the atmosphere at least time as possible. I already know that the keyboard engineers sitting in their parents' basement, they're gonna have a field day with this one, that's for sure. I can see the comments already. Mikey, you're an effing idiot. You don't have any clearance on the left-hand side. Ain't that right, Derek? Well, that's a nice hat, by the way.
Yes.
Look at that, representing the Mikey pipes and ACiQ. We are keeping America. Well, actually, no, we're changing the way America heats and cools. Look at that. That's awesome. All my ACiQ dealers out there, the next time you place an order with ACiQ, email me, mike@mikeypipes.com. Email me your order number, and I'm going to send you a free hat. Let me know if you want small or large, extra large, and also a size shirt, t-shirt. You good?
Yeah, I was just looking for the zoom lock.
The zoom lock?
Yeah.
It's in the back of my truck. He's using a zoom lock, huh? Really? But as I was saying, the trolls are gonna have fun with this. And you're right, congratulations. You passed the internet inspection. But here's the reality. Sometimes the perfect installation only exists in the manufacturer's brochure. Out here in the real world, got interrupted by the phone. Interrupted by the phone. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, I was letting the trolls know that they're right. Congratulations. You passed the keyboard exam, and you are now a glorified keyboard warrior sitting God knows where, criticizing my install, while I'm with my team doing installs and changing the way my clients heat and cool their home. That's the reality. And even more so, sometimes the perfect installation only exists in the manufacturer's brochure. Out here in the real world, we've got a gas line on one side, a chimney on the other, basement windows, sidewalks, property lines, and homeowners who generally don't appreciate us moving their feet 3 feet to the left or to the right. What do you think? I'm clear of that gas regulator. I've got enough room to service the unit, Airflow isn't restricted, and this location gives the homeowner the best overall installation. Sometimes HVAC is about finding the best solution, not the perfect one. And before anyone asks, no, I'm not removing the chimney. What's wrong with you? But now, enough of comedy. Let's go inside. Let's see if we're ready to put some nitrogen in the system. The brand new line set. Let's pray with my fingers crossed, my legs crossed, and my testicles crossed that I don't got any leaks at those 2 flare joints, because that would suck. Oh, yeah, you're not using the Zoom log, are you?
Yeah, I bought it down just in case.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Daniel?
Fine.
You all right? 1 piece of copper? Yeah. Not too shabby. Got the fan on, I hear?
Yeah.
Very nice. Look at that. Look at this beautiful air handler. This is the ACiQ PAH 36,000 BTUs. There's our UL listed surge protection device located right inside. Daniel did a beautiful job with a switch and a receptacle for our condensate pump. The wiring looks amazing. And our DC driven motor is running. Daniel's got the bender out to make a bend. Now granted, we're not like those guys, what is it, HVAC Combat? He does really, really nice bends and makes good use of bubble wrap to make his installations look really tits. Yeah, sorry, we're not HVAC Combat. That's just DC HVAC. This is Young HVAC Goat. You already know who I am. The idiot who placed the unit too close to the chimney outside.
When they put the chimney too close to where you want it.
Yeah, you know, they gotta move that chimney. Yeah.
You just get a power vent and then he doesn't need it.
Correct. That is correct. Well, or a heat pump. You gotta get a heat pump water heater. Oh, that's what we're gonna get him. We're gonna get a heat pump water heater once he puts the solar panels in. And then we'll chop up the chimney. All right, we'll put a little offset in the chimney. By the way, you want to tell the people about your what you created here, the base and the ductwork? Looks nice.
Nothing really to tell them about.
No, okay, looks very nice. Guys, let me get your thoughts and feedback in the comment section down below. Would you do anything different?
I would have liked to have either like put the filter higher and put a 90.
Yeah.
And then this is on something that's actually sized for it, or have this like shrink in.
Gotcha. How come you didn't build it that way?
Because I always get confused on how
Yeah, I hear
this
you.
is gonna line up on that with.
I hear you.
Go like that.
Well, you do a great job anyway. I don't care what the keyboard trolls are telling. Right in the comment section right now. They can go kick rocks and play in traffic.
Put unistrut.
Very nice. Yeah, to hold it up.
Yeah.
Nice. Derek's playing with flex duct in the back.
Derek. Yeah. There's 2 pieces of sheet metal in my truck from this. Mm-hmm. If you want to plug this hole and that hole.
Humidifier and humidistat.
I should, yeah. Is it here? No, it's not going to be here.
Nicey nice. All right, folks, let's talk about what's going on right now. We passed the pressure test, no leaks. That means we're ready for what's important, very important, the vacuuming process. Now, before anyone asks, Mikey, why don't you just crack open the valves and do an air purge? Well, this isn't the 1990s. This is 2026. So I got my vacuum pump connected to my 3/8 liquid line service port. My Micron gauge is all the way on the other side of the 3/4 inch service port. And that's not by accident. We're doing something a little different today. I'm using the ACiQ Tools True Plus vacuum hose, I think that's what it's called. Hooked up to the Fieldpiece VP67 vacuum pump. So right now we're pulling vacuum from that 3/8 line, the evaporator coil, and the 3/4 inch line, and we're reading that Micron right here. So 1260, 1250. Let's close our gas ballast. We're gonna let that pump down. 1230, 1220, 1210. I'm surprised it's not going down faster, but we are slowly going down. 1180, 1170. I really thought it would come down faster. We have literally like a 15-foot line set. It is what it is. We are going, we are dropping. 1110, 1100. And this is the most important part of the entire installation. The commissioning, the evacuation of all of the atmosphere, non-condensables out of the line, the moisture, all that good stuff. It's very important that we don't rush this step. All right, that little guy right there, the guy tells me whether I've removed all the air, the moisture, and whether the system can actually hold a deep vacuum. It's called a Micron gauge. And if you're an HVAC tech, you have one of these, or maybe even multiple of them. Because if we don't remove that moisture, we're gonna have problems. Moisture is the enemy. Moisture can mix with the refrigerant, the oil, creates acids, destroys compressor windings, attacks the bearings, and shortens the life of a very expensive inverter-driven compressor. So if you're the guy that says, 15 minutes is good enough, I appreciate your generosity with someone else's compressor. Remember, we're not looking to pull a number just to say we pulled a vacuum. We're looking for a stable Micron reading that proves the system is clean, tight, and dry. This step takes patience. But remember, replacing an inverter compressor in a couple years or 6 months from now, it's because you rushed. And that takes a lot longer than pulling a vacuum. And I learned this over the weekend. Remember, air belongs in your tires. Moisture belongs in your coffee. Neither belongs in a refrigeration system. Now let's let this vacuum work and earn its paycheck. Slow and steady, folks. Slow and steady. 693, 694. Yeah, we'll be all right. Slow and steady wins the race, folks. Remember, there's no rush right now. All right, folks. 1127, 384 microns. Let's close that and let's give that a few minutes and see where she goes. It's a nice sign when she keeps dropping even after I close the valve. 380, 379, still going down. It's crazy. You know what, just to show you, because there's some out there going to believe, no, Mikey, it's not so, you're cheating. 379. It looks like she's holding the decay test. 379. $380. $381. Let's give that a few minutes. All right. Micron gauge passed the decay test. I'm opening that liquid side valve right now. Fully open. Back off a little bit. Let's take off the... Oh, it never wants to come out easy. Always a stubborn like a mule. Come on, baby. Get in there. Wiggle it out. Come on, baby. Just wiggle it. Come on. Get out. Oh, man. Alright, let's put our straighter core valves back in. little bit of... Beautiful. Let's do the other. Feel for no leaks. Push in and spin. Close, open, no leak. Perfect. Let's put our service caps back on. Remember, these caps are the first line of defense against leaks on those valve cores. Gorgeous. All right, a couple more things left to do, but let's get rid of the extension cord now. Perfect. Beautiful. 2 side-by-side 3-ton ACiQ 3.6 HPD. Beautiful. Paired with the PAH Extreme Plus air handler, we now have high performance, high efficiency heat pump HVAC system that's going to cool and heat this home for generations to come. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at the indoor unit, the ACiQ 3.6 PAH. This is the 3-ton Extreme Plus air handling unit, fully communicating, can also be used in 24 volts status indicator. Also, this is the window if you're going to use the remote control that comes with it. I don't really see any purpose for that, but I love it how the edges are rounded. I gotta tell you, the only thing that kills this whole view is that beast, that 50-gallon A.O. Smith built for Lowe's, the Signature Series water heater. Definitely seen better days, that's for sure. Really, really, really nice. We have an 8-inch high platform, 5-inch thick media filter, 110 volt condensate pump, secondary switch, and both of these are wired to the port on the control board. So in full communicating mode, you'll get an alert at the thermostat when the condensate float is activated. It means a clogged drain. Daniel did a really nice job with the line set, 3/4 and 3/8. Penetrating outside. You may want to get us a little bit more, maybe silicone on that. Yeah, a little bit. Some more putty, but it is very, very nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. Another happy homeowner, another ACiQ system installed, pressure tested, evacuated, commissioned, and ready to keep this family comfortable for many years to come. But now it's the most important part of every install day, lunch. Because let's be honest, HVAC contractors, well, we don't run on refrigerant. We run on caffeine. Some of you run on bacon. They say swine is divine. Anyway, if you're an HVAC contractor anywhere in the United States and you're tired of overpriced equipment, dealer fees, dealing with distributors, jumping through hoops just to buy a heat pump, well, let's just say, folks, it's time for you to check out ACiQ and become an ACiQ dealer today. There's no cost or obligation. Go to aciq.com/Mikey Pipes and become a dealer today with no cost. Your first order, if you mention my name, you're gonna get a fantastic bonus. A bonus so great, you're gonna wanna fly to New York, meet me at 1010 Central Avenue and buy me breakfast. Or maybe even fly me in for your install. And if you're a homeowner living here on Long Island, the Charleston, South Carolina area, or Palm Beach County, Florida, pick up the phone and give me a call when you're tired of getting bamboozled by your HVAC contractor and you're thinking about replacing your old central air conditioning system or heating system, looking to get a heat pump, or maybe even a ducted or ductless system. My systems from ACiQ, they're high performance, high efficiency heat pump inverters. Not just on or off, these things modulate infinite speeds almost. I'd love to tell you more about it. Go to pipedoc.net for more information. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, be well, God bless, and stay safe. Oh, and by the way, if you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. There's no cost or obligation. It's the best way you can support the channel. And as always, let me get your thoughts and feedback down in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching. Let's head to lunch. Oh, one more thing. If you're tired of working for a mediocre HVAC contracting business and you live on Long Island and you got experience with residential and you're good, don't bullshit me. If you're not good, don't even bother. All right? You can enjoy the fruits of your labor. This comes standard stocked every day. I went to Costco yesterday, spent about $500. Look at this. Stocked to the brim. And when we really work hard, we play harder. I got the Goose, I got the Stoli Elite. Let's not forget about Free Fridays. And all the French fries. What a warm welcome. Stoli and Chi-Chi. You wanna go for a walk? Yeah? Do you wanna go for a walk? Speak. Is that all? Yes? Yeah? Okay, I'll go for a walk.